Chapter 1: The Forgotten Road. On the vast plains of Tanzania, the golden grasses of the Serengeti danced in the wind, and a rusty jeep was driving along the dusty road. Behind the wheel sat an old man, his face deeply lined by the sun. His name was Mzee Jabari. He was 78, but his eyes still shone with the passion and determination of a young man. He had started out as a park ranger in his youth, and over the years he had fought poachers and rescued animals that had been hiding. Every morning before his retirement, he would board his jeep and continue patrolling the Serengeti. For him, this land was not just a job, it was a way of life, a vow, a love. Chapter 2: The Two-Legged Menace. Mzee Jabari set out early one morning again. His eyes searched the dirt for tracks. A giraffe's morning walk, an elephant family's dust bath. But something was different that day. The images on the ground were not fresh. Heavy boot print, the iron trap mark where the pieces of his feet were lined up. They came again, he said to himself. They're braver this time. He remembered the incidents he had encountered with poachers years ago. He was alert, but I wasn't alone. Chapter 3: The Lost Elephant. That day, Jabari noticed an old elephant he called Mama Nya talking to his herd. Mama Nya was a female Jabari had used for a long time with 40 letters. She would talk about everything, scratch behind his ears, and sometimes whisper old tales to him when he was alone. He got out of his jeep and walked towards the forest. There were drops of fresh blood all around. He came across a trap mark. Inside was Mama Nya's footprint. But the elephant wasn't there. Chapter 4: Young Souls. The day after the incident, the young guard at the park gathered around Jabari. The individual's biologist Leela, the young ranger Hassan, and the animal's reproductive specialist Musa were also there. They had grown up with his stories and had signed his nature like his. Jabari watched them. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the tiny tooth fragment that Mama Nya had dropped years ago when she was little. He looked at them and said, "If we are going to leave a mark on this world, that mark should not be the ground we step on. It should be the compassionate one we carry in our hearts." Chapter 5: Silent Pursuit. Leela and Musa followed Jabari into the forest. It was silent. Even the birdsong seemed to join their respectful silence. They followed the tracks on the ground. Freshly broken branches, fallen bushes. Mama Nya must not have gone far. And finally, they found her by a stream. The iron trap that had been stuck in her foot had cut a deep wound, but she was still standing tall. Jabari approached slowly. "Mama Nya." "I'm here, girl," he whispered. Tears welled up in the elephant's eyes. People might not see it, but Jabari had been reading them for years. Mama Nya had recognized him. Chapter 6: Healing Hands. The rest of the team was called. The wild animal veterinarians arrived. The trap was removed. The wound was cleaned. But Jabari would not let them take her anywhere else. "She will heal here. Her nature is here. We serve here. We cannot tear her away from her own world," he said. And every day he came there. He sat down and told her stories, and read her poetry. He spread a blanket under the tree by the lake. Leela could not hold back her tears at the sight of his devotion. Chapter 7: Storm and Shelter. One night a fierce storm hit the Serengeti. The wind was uprooting the trees, and the rain was pounding the ground like truck tires. Everyone in the park retreated to the safety of their own places, but Jabari did not. Mama Nya was alone. When Leela returned to see him, she found the old man right next to the elephant, with his blanket draped over him. "We came into this world together. We will stay together." Chapter 8: The Last Journey. Mama Nia was healed. Her leg was straightened. One morning Jabari saw her walking slowly toward her herd. He went over to her and whispered in her ear, "Go now, but come by sometimes. The door of my heart is always open to you." The elephant leaned his head against Jabari. Then he slowly joined the other elephants. At that moment, there was silence in the Serengeti. The sun rose, the wind stopped, and nature greeted Jabari with an ancient gratitude. Chapter 9: Legacy. Months passed. Jabari continued his patrol as usual. But one morning, when he woke up, he could not get up. His body was now preparing for that eternal journey. Leela, Hassan, Musa and the other young people gathered at his bedside. As he closed his eyes, he turned to Leela and said, "Nature is in your hands. Protect it. But remember, you will never understand unless you love it." He was buried in the middle of the Serengeti, where the sun rose most beautifully. His tombstone read, "Mzee Jabari." He dedicated his life to nature and his friends. His spirit now lies in the wind, his footprints in the soil, his love in every heart. Chapter 10: Return. Months later, at first light, a huge herd of elephants arrived at Jabari's grave. Mama Nia was at the forefront. She approached the base of the tree and placed her trunk on the ground. The other elephants did the same. And then, they all made a sound together. A deep, heartfelt sound. Nature has not forgotten her.